have to pardon my appearance. I only got about 4 or 5 hours of sleep last night. But I wanted to make the video talking about cosmotheism being panentheism. Okay, the gentleman that was arguing with me in the comments section was actually correct. Although, this is because, my mistake is because, cosmotheism, as proposed by Dr. William Luther Pierce, is both pantheism and panentheism. He mixed them up to a degree. But the word cosmotheism, when I said William Luther Pierce would not use a word incorrectly, I was wrong. The word cosmotheism was basically, or is, synonymous with pantheism. But the point is, Pierce spoke of one reality, which is very important. Now, that's the thing, is cosmotheism is a religion that takes place in reality. Unfortunately, see, I haven't read the Cosmotheist trilogy in a few years because I don't just keep going back to things over and over again. That's not what's important to me. The general concepts are what's important. But basically what it is Pierce talked about one reality, which is important, but then he starts going into a spiritual manifestation. This is the danger of speaking of spiritual things. Spiritual things are imaginary. For lack of a better term, spirituality is imaginary. So when he starts talking about a spiritual manifestation, that's not, you leave the realm of physical flesh and blood reality. Now, with creativity stays here in the physical manifestation of flesh and blood reality and flesh and blood life and death, okay? That's the good thing about creativity. However, the gentleman also mentioned that cosmotheism was for only the elite of the vanguard. Okay, this might be true, but you need other people in order to move civilization forward. And frankly, Christianity has stopped. Christianity has stagnated in its ability to move Western civilization forward. The problem is, and that's where I get into things like Pierre Teilhard de Chardin's form of Christianity, which accepts pantheism and evolution and is very similar to cosmotheism, but also the creativity religion, which unfortunately, due to many factors, like the term Rahowa, has drawn many, not the greatest people toward it, if you get what I'm saying. So you have a religion that is very viable for moving civilization forward, but it can't because it has attracted very bad people. The masses, generally speaking, need to be worked with. If you're going to have a mass movement, you need the masses. A religion similar to creativity, although people might get angry at me saying this, is LaVeyan Satanism, which is the religion I'm most familiar with. That's the religion I basically was from birth up until the age of, I don't know, 22, when I started believing in pantheism, cosmotheism, and then I basically said, nah, I'm just a scientific pantheist because cosmotheism has too many beliefs that are not exactly in sync with my own beliefs. So yeah, that's when I was about 25, I became a scientific pantheist. I'm 36 now. Now the difference, now this is the thing though, with Satanism and creativity, you get the problem with people saying, well, that's not pantheistic. Although if you read in the Satanic Bible, the aspect of the book called Wanted God Dead or Alive, LaVey clearly states that God does exist and God is the balance factor in nature, which is similar to creativity. Now, is there pantheism in creativity? Absolutely. Pantheism is in the concept of them looking toward nature as the divine source. They're looking for the laws of nature as divine law. These things are all present in creativity, despite the fact that creators tend to believe themselves to be atheistic. They're not, because it's a pantheistic religion. By looking toward nature as God. Okay, so my concept with the future being tiered, with creators or people that follow a religion similar to creativity in the middle, and people like Christians and whatnot at the bottom, and of course cosmotheists at the top. The reason why is because cosmotheism is more like a philosophy, less like a religion. It is not a complete religion. Creativity is a complete religion, and I believe this comes from Clausen's Mennonite upbringing, understanding the need for religion to build strong communities and build a healthy society. And I will be leaving a link to Ellen G. White's book, The Adventist Household. I do believe, like Clausen did, that in order for things to move forward, the home is the beginning. It's where everything starts. You have to understand that everything starts in the home. For a mass movement to work, not only do you need the masses, you need the masses to know what they're doing, what they believe, etc. Creativity, I think, however, even going back to Clausen, the problem with creativity is it promotes violence too much. That's the whole problem, is of course you're going to get stomped out of existence when you're promoting ideas similar to Clausen's, with, no leeway, nothing. And what's interesting is in Nature's Eternal Religion, what's funny is he talks about unifying all white people. But then he talks about how his German family did not want to intermix with the Ukrainians where he grew up, which is ridiculous. Like, he considered the Ukrainians to, I forget the exact wording, but the Ukrainians they did not consider to be white because they were German. Well, when you're trying to unify everybody, you need to understand that, and this is the problem with white nationalism in general, who is white? That's the problem. They don't know. And that's the thing is the Latin races of Spain and Italy, I still don't consider them to be Caucasoid, or I don't consider them to be white. They're Caucasoid, but they're not white. And the reason why is I believe white should be reserved for Northern Europeans. I've stated that already. I do not consider myself to be white due to my Italian blood. And that's all for this video.